Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trading with Livevol. This is Stephen Choi, and here you get to see my own Reg T account, and I use LVX to trade, and you guys can see how I trade. So yesterday I wasn't on, but Hillshire had went up $5. I was leaning long, so I actually had a pretty good day yesterday. I made about $7 grand yesterday on Hillshire, and today it looks like I'm up a little bit again, mostly on Hillshire. And so let's kind of just go to it because I pretty much have a pretty substantial bet going on. So you see all these trades. So I have so many lines now. It's not like just like doing some kind of condor or call spread. The only way I can do it is looking at the risk chart. So this is my chart right now. And this is my chart in the next next 8 weeks. And the thing I wanted to show you guys was, let me actually just show you guys these. So this is how my chart looks in the next until June expiration. See how the stock is trading 59.30. So if it ended right here, let's say no news came out. For example, like it got bought for 59, but basically nothing came out. They didn't make their final decision. I should gain pretty decent amount, and as it goes up, I should also do okay, right? So I have this position. The thing that I was thinking, reading about it, was maybe there's a chance that it doesn't get done in June, but it gets done in July, right? So basically, there's still about 17 days. Basically, I've read that Hillshire will now talk to Pilgrim's Pride and Tyson individually, separately, not like as a group. Probably a wise thing because they want to make sure they get the highest price possible. So they're going to play probably off of each other and go back and forth and see who is going to give them ultimately the best bid. Also, it's all in cash, so it's not super complicated. It's basically like straight up cash for the company. So it could get complicated if they bid higher and there's some stock component, but let's just kind of say it's just going to be cash. And my whole the reason I did this was I made 7,000, but I was willing to kind of roll this June, July 60. I bought 100 of these today. Let me actually show you. So you see these, July 60, June 60. So I did 100 of these for 30 cents this morning. And my whole thinking was exactly that if it stays here, I should do okay. Let's say for whatever reason, afterwards, then something gets announced where they get the higher bid. You can see at that point, I can make, let's say they're going to bid like 23 bucks. I can make about 30 grand on a $3,000 investment doing that trade. And if it stays right here, basically I can also make. Now, what I won't make is if, for whatever reason, they announce a deal at this price right now or lower, basically I can lose a decent amount of cash. So up to maybe 8,000-9,000. The order flow is extremely bullish in this. So I think the chance of that happening is pretty low. I guess it all comes down to whether I think it's going to happen this month or next month. So let's say for whatever reason my assumption is correct, but they make a bid higher, but my timing is off, and it's this month. I should still do okay. let's say, if it goes to like 63, I should make about 8 grand. But if it does it after June expiration, I tend to gain 30. So that's kind of the risk reward. I bought 22 of these back because they were offered at 85 cents. You see these 22 lot? So I bought them back, and I'm trying to sell these for 40. So I'm actually, I got 10 lot here. I sold 10 for 35, and then I'm trying to do another 10 lot for 40, right? So this is my position. It's pretty, it's kind of something I used to do a lot when I was trading on the floor. Wasn't really sure how much I can do, but it seems like I can do a decent amount even with a Reg T account. Now let me show you some order flow. So you see this person bought the August 57.5, 62.5 call spread, paid 230. This August 57 calls looks like a selling of the calls, but if you actually look at time and sales, you see this 200,600. It was done with option, right? So basically, this person that sold this put for 240 also bought 200,600 shares, which is exactly the same amount here. So basically, he sold the put essentially synthetically for like 125. Now, you might ask, why did that person do it? If you look at August 57s, you see how these are 110 offered, right? So he's essentially sold it for 125, plus now he has stock that he can scalp back and forth. He doesn't have to like just hold the whole position naked. Also, people are buying calls. So this guy did this before with June's, where he bought calls naked and then sold puts naked. Right, so he bought the August 60 calls and sold the August 57 puts, and then this person just bought the June 60 calls 1,000 times. So my thing is, if, and I keep a close eye on this ticker, if it looks like it's just going to rip through 60, I probably will be tempted to just lift these for $1, and then see if I can sell these for like $1, right? That way I can do the call spread, right? So let's say I did that. So I sold these 80 times, and I bought these back 78 times. And it's my risk chart. Oh, because I closed it. So this is how my risk chart would look afterwards, right? So if you look at it, if I did that, basically at $63, I still gonna make like 20 grand. But if I were able to sell these for like 78 cents, essentially I would have done the same thing. So instead of doing the July, June 60 call spread for 30, I'll be doing the July 60, 62. Oh, okay, I just sold a 10 lot for 40. Right, so I just sold these for 40 cents. I'm gonna put a 10 lot for 85. All right, so I put a 10 lot for 85. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get filled, but maybe I'll start buying and rotating out. Let's see. Yeah, so somebody just bought 1,000 lot of these for 40 cents. So all these thing is indicating to me maybe they're gonna get a higher bid. And right now, if they do get a higher bid, I tend to make maybe about $8,000. So I'm trying to keep a close eye on this. So it almost like my whole position is tied to this right now. And what I'm willing to do on this whole thing is I'm essentially willing to risk everything I made so far, right? So you see how right here at around, yeah, so if for whatever reason it goes back to 55, I'm going to lose like 11 grand, which is about what I made so far on Hillshire. So what I'm doing is I'm just rolling everything I have back up, which is not always the best way, but it's one way of getting your account really up high very quickly if you can find the right stock to do it. So right now, my thinking is I identified the stock as that candidate, but I'm not, I'm not sure. And these are very, very fluid. So even after I come to all these things that I'm talking to you guys about, literally 5 minutes after the air, things change. If some news comes out, I would have to completely adjust to it. So it's not like after this, I'm going to be just married to all my positions for the rest of the time. I will be married as long as nothing else changes. But if things are changing, and when these stocks, it happens a lot, I will be adjusting accordingly. So that's that. Let me go to the next one. So basically on that trade, if I'm super lucky, I can make upwards of like 30 grand, and that's if nothing happens for a couple of weeks. The fact that people are already buying August makes me think like maybe there could be some delay, right? Since they're talking to those two guys, it might take them a little time to figure out who has the best bid. And it's in Hillshire's interest not to do it too quickly, because I don't know if you guys ever been on an auction. When somebody has the final bid, you don't want to say going once, going twice, 3 times really quickly. You kind of want to do it slow so the guys bid. So if you ever been in an auction, basically as a seller, you kind of want to stagger the time period so each other has time to think about and up the bid. So something else, so Quicksilver had earnings. I talked about it. I bought the June 6 puts and sold the June 5 puts 1 by 2, thinking that it was going to be okay. And basically, this thing dropped like 40% yesterday. So I ended up losing like I think like $600 or something. But so it kind of sucked. And then I bought these. But in terms of the bet, I'm still okay with it, just because, I mean, it had to drop 40 cents for me to lose that much money. And if it dropped just like 20%, I would have been fine. But it just dropped, to a point where it was ridiculous. And so it wasn't what it was predicting, but that's kind of how it is. So today it looks like I'm making a little back, but this is don't let this fool you. I lost like 700 yesterday, right? So let me go to XLU. So as you guys know, XLU, I had it pegged as my ETF to kind of like stay relatively where I have the calls and I sell the other calls against it, right? So I have a deep call, and then I'm selling all these others against it. I was short puts, but because XLU had a run up, I bought them all back. So I'm kind of waiting for it to maybe fall a little, and then I'm gonna, I'm gonna think about maybe selling some puts again. Or if it keeps going up, I might have to adjust my other stuff, right? So I might have to adjust some of this. But in the end, so far it's working out okay. I'm making some money because time's on my side. So even though I win some, lose some, in the end, like it's been kind of good because every time it ticks, it's going in my favor. I want to talk about JetBlue because somebody bought like these 9,000 puts. I found out looking at the time and sales, I can go over it, but you can look at it yourself. Basically, he did it with stock, so he was actually buying a straddle, more like. So let me actually punch that in, which is not bad because it's at a 52-week. It's at a 25 percentile in the IV30, and basically it had this huge run-up. So buying a straddle at $10 at this point when the volatility is low is actually pretty good. I kind of liked it. So I have a bid. I want to do time spread, as you guys know. I like doing that. So I have this time spread on that I'm trying to get filled right here for 15 cents. Not sure how successful I'm going to be. Yeah, so the midpoint is already 20. So the chances are I'm probably not going to get filled, but that's kind of what I was thinking. So Protective Life, so they just got bought by some Japanese insurance company for 70 bucks. I wish I bought some of these yesterday, but I wasn't paying that much attention. I was trying to do this spread. So as you guys know, anytime there's an announcement, I love buying these cheap puts in hopes of maybe something happening. So I have this spread on, but I don't think I'm going to get filled either because when I originally put it in, I was really close to putting on for a nickel, but now it's kind of moved away more. So that's my other trade. NQ, so it was reported, so Muddy Waters, I did this stock a little while back. Basically, Muddy Waters was implying that they're a fraud, right? And today they announced that the independent group that they hired basically exonerated them of any wrongdoing or the things that they were being accused of. Now, they still haven't reported their financials, which is not good. So in general, I just try to keep an eye on it. There was some call buying earlier this morning when it was down here, and looks like since then it's done pretty well. But I just like to keep an eye on it because these stocks, the closets are never empty. So eventually something comes out. So I tend to agree more with Muddy Waters that something is up with this company that's not kosher, but we'll see. Okay, XLF. I did this trade. Not sure if I broadcasted it because I think I got filled afterwards. So I sold these June 22 puts and bought the June 13 22 puts. So the one's expiring this week, and then I bought the one expiring next week just because I thought maybe XLF had a chance to go down, but looks like it's actually rallying, so we'll see. But I have a couple of days still, and probably the big news on Thursday with the European ECB meeting, that's going to pretty much affect where the stock is going. Let me talk about a couple of the earnings. Okay, so they have earnings. So global looks like more calls to puts, slightly bullish, implying an 11.1% move. It's moved 9.4%. So that's kind of where this is at. The other one is 5. They're buying calls. These are really upside calls. So, it's kind of interesting. But, oh, wait. So let me go back to Joy, because I think I read the wrong page. So Joy Global is implying a 3.8% move. Joy Global is implying a 3.8% move, and it has moved 3.4% the last 4 earnings. Sorry about that. 5 below, I think these are like some kids guys. But anyway, these guys implying an 11.1% move, and it moved an average of 9.4%. So let me actually go to the options. Yeah, so this is a pretty spectacular move for somebody to buy these. I'm almost tempted to sell, but since I have so much other stuff going on that I'm just going to skip it. So let me actually talk to you about SPX and so to me, as you guys know, I've been kind of laying off being long just because I wasn't sure. Now it ripped through 1900 and looks like it's actually on its way to 2000. So it looks pretty bullish. The only thing that kind of concerns me is I would like the VIX to make a new low as well. So as long as this is up, basically I'm not comfortable getting too long. But essentially, you know, most of my bet is in really not that much SPX related, but like mergers and acquisition, like Hillshire and AZN. And then I have all these other plays which are more event-driven versus the market-driven. So, you know, right now my whole my bet on Hillshire is so large that most likely so most likely I'm gonna just concentrate on this. Plus my most of my accounts is tied up with it, so I'm probably just gonna work on Hillshire. But hope you guys can kind of see what I'm doing, and the software is pretty awesome to like kind of do the risk and see how I could see what my P&L is with or without the simulations. And then what I do is I just kind of mess around with it until I get stuff that I like. So I'm constantly messing around. So let's say I get rid of this, right? This is how I would look. And let's say you know, I want to, you know, maybe sell 50, you know, buy back 50 and maybe sell 50 of these instead. This is how I would look, right? So I can keep kind of messing around with these lines to see exactly what I think is going to happen, and it's a pretty awesome tool. But anyway, hope you guys are doing well. I'm kind of in a little uptrend, so I'm going to hope to continue this thing. Not sure if it's going to last, but I'm gonna try my best to make it happen. So in the end, sometimes like one or two stocks or one or two trading kind of can really change how your P&L looks. So take care, and I will talk to you guys on Friday.